Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Ryan of Happy, Healthy, Vegan. It's Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for me on the dot. This is the time we get together and discuss and talk about any and all things vegan. So if you're vegan, you've come to the right place. And thanks, Vegan Metalhead, for being a member for 40 months. Welcome, all happy fam, aloha, everyone. So yeah, I'm glad we're all gathering right now. I just started this live about 30 seconds ago. So yeah, you guys know what's up. The weekly Happy Healthy Vegan live stream. So if you're watching after the fact, hello and welcome. And if anyone wonders why my lava lamp is not on right now, I forgot to turn it on. Usually I turn all the lights on like 20-30 minutes before the live stream starts, but I noticed the lava lamp, like, oh, I forgot to turn it on. So anyway, I went to go turn it on like about a minute ago, like right before, like it's about 6 o'clock for me. I turned it on, I see the light flicker, and it flickered right off. So I didn't have time to go out and change the light bulb. So all right, no big deal. Anyway, in case you're wondering what's going on, it does seem a little darker back in that corner there without the light bulb. But anyway, I think we'll be able to get through this live stream. And I think veganism as well will survive the live streams not being I mean the lava lamp. I wish I turned it on normal time. I would have changed the bulb. I had to. It's weird to change one light bulb. You just can't go buy a lava lamp light bulb. You get them on like Amazon. I have like maybe 6 of them or something like that. So that should last quite a long time. Anyway, welcome everyone. This is where we get together and talk about any and all things vegan. And if you're vegan, you've come to the right place. You'll find a lot of like-minded people here who follow plant-based diets, vegan diets. And if you're just curious, if you're interested in veganism, you've also come to a good place too. A lot of experience is shared amongst the viewers here. And yeah, just feel free to ask questions. We're not the kinds of vegans who are assholes to people who are not vegan. There's other groups of vegans like that. I don't like people like that. They can all hang out and be toxic together. We'll hang out and be chill and open and inviting. So if you're one of those wannabe vegans or interested in being vegan, come join us every week. And if you are not vegan and you're not here to learn and have an open mind about things, but you've come here to challenge me on veganism, ask it. Just present your best argument or evidence against veganism or whatever, and we'll try to have a listen to it. So welcome everyone. I'm feeling kind of mellow today. I've had kind of a strange day. So anyway, not a bad day, just kind of a weird day. Everything's good though. Just feeling a little low energy all of a sudden. So we'll see how long this live stream goes tonight. So anyway, let's see. Metalhead, you've been a member for 40 months now. Gosh, I think you've been with us since the beginning. So that's awesome. Wow, time sure flies. So that's 3 years and 4 months. And Angie pointed out to me that 10 years ago, today or yesterday is when we first started selling Happy Healthy Vegan t-shirts. So that's crazy too. So I can't believe we've been just doing a lot of this stuff for a long time. Anyway, so Vegan Metalhead, you're going to Alma's Kitchen, Jungle Jim's Pacific Kitchen, and maybe Loving Hut Wednesday. Wow, it sounds like you're doing quite the eating tour or some of that shopping. You said Jungle Jim's is the world's largest supermarket. Awesome. Let's see, Travis, you went to Disney World a few days ago over the weekend. How was that? And how are the vegan offerings there? Yay! Late Model and AJ are here. Who else of our regular that's it, right? Yeah, and just Metalhead. That's it right now for the Happy Fam. Hopefully the rest of the Happy Fam will find their way. I just got started. And sorry, I just want to point out, Late Model, that my lava lamp, I just turned it on right before I was about to press the go live button, and the light turned on and off, so the bulb died. So, bummer. Anyway, it just feels kind of weird without the lava lamp. Anyway, let's see. So Johnny, I forgot you were talking about going to Disney World next weekends or next week. Awesome, cool. Hope that turns out good for you. AJ, good for you, boycotting all things Disney after the FCC Kimmel fiasco. Well, Disney ultimately, just suspended him for 5 days and let him back on. I gladly watched his first monologue back after the suspension. It sounds like they didn't put a muzzle on him. It sounds like looks like he's saying the same old stuff. He probably even went harder. So there's two ways to look at it. I'm not sure why they took him off in the first place for the first few days or 5 days. That seems really dumb, considering what he said. We talked about it last week. It's the kind of thing, if you said it at school, you probably wouldn't get suspended or fired at work. It was kind of innocuous, it didn't we just talked about that. At least I don't want to beat a dead horse to death, but yeah, I was at the time though. I totally would have canceled my Disney Plus, but strangely, I get it for free, so there's nothing to cancel or boycott or anything like that. So, anyway, let's see. You're camping at Joshua Tree, Fly Sensei. Awesome. You're gonna be listening, getting so sleepy. Camped at Joshua Tree for a few days, sleepy tonight. I'm feeling you right now too. Maybe, I don't know. Hope I'm not getting sick. Maybe I just ate weird. I just feel kind of super chill right now. So anyway, as AJ, the fact that Disney did that in the first place, that was lame. I completely agree with you. I I would have canceled everything I could at the point. In the first place, means you're still boycotting. Disney caved to Trump's wish to cancel Kimmel, and thank God they didn't. Thank God they came to their senses. Like, you can't let a guy go because the president doesn't like him. They cancel the show. I remember Kimmel said like 100 people work there, talking about, making Americans work and jobs and all that stuff, canceling 100 people's livelihoods and all their families that'd be affected just because you don't like what they say. That's definitely not American. That's not democratic. That's not free speech. So I'm glad, that situations, at least for now, seems to be working out okay. South Park, watched that last night. Damn, those guys are hard. And once again, I tell you, I love that JD Vance / tattoo character. Right when I saw him, he was walking from behind the camera was behind him, watching him walk. I knew right away, oh, there's Tattoo. I got all excited. And once again, the character did not disappoint. He's such an awesomely just cute and funny character. Did you see that last night, Fly Sensei? What do you think? Is it catching on across the world in America, or am I weird? I just totally dig that JD Vance tattoo guy character. I love the accent. I don't know if which guy, Matt or Trey's doing it. The accent is pretty spot on and hilarious at the same time. Everything about that character is cool. It's going to be one of their like Mr. Tally, Miss Hanky and Mr. Tally. It's just gonna be another awesome character that's gonna be part of their great characters they've made. Anyway, it's the age. I didn't know what the numbers were. Disney lost $4 billion in canceled subscriptions. That's why they brought Kimmel back. Not a good reason. Good point. Yeah, it sure shows how money talks, right? Whatever they're gonna make the most money or lose the least amount of money. That's what they're going with. Damn, that'll totally affect their business and bottom line. Johnny, you love how South Park, they're not politically correct at all. They've always, made a point they don't give a shit about political correctness. They really are true champions of free speech. Really, they push it pretty far, and thank God they do. It's awesome. And I think the way they do it in a politically satirical way, they make some good points. They've never come out and said which side of the political spectrum they're on or anything like that. I think they're just kind of like me. I think they're just kind of nonpartisan, just independent thinkers that are, deeply rooted in creativity and be able to be free to do what they want to do artistically. I can fully relate to that as an artist, I'm comparing my experience for the past few decades being an independent artist versus my time in the 90s being an artist signed to a label. And labels have all sorts of expectations. They can reject songs, reject albums. They don't want you to change your sound and your direction and genres. That's taboo in most places. I'm not like that. A lot of creative people are kind of like that. They don't like to be defined and constrained and contained. They want to be free to do what they see best and fit. So anyway, enough of me yapping on about that. Let's see, Nikki, you're not going to join much after tonight. You have a regular couple of private practice patients moving to late Friday evenings, and you have to submit boring insurance claims. Wow, you have clients meeting with you on late Friday evenings? Oh man, that sucks. On so many levels, but I'm sorry to hear about that, Nikki. Thanks for letting us know, and hopefully you can somehow join us. Hopefully they're not going to come every Friday. Hello, VLAM. Happy Saturday morning to you. Hey, let me adjust the AC here. Let's see. People are hoping Jake feels better. What's wrong with you, Jake? All right, let's not make this all political bummer kind of time right now. All right, everyone, let's just, we've had a rough week or two or a year or so of political stuff. So let's try to keep it to a minimum here about like who's doing what and stuff. I just addressed the Jimmy Kimmel thing because that's a huge thing, yanking a comedian off the air because you don't like what they say. I mean, it's like idiots like say like that Australian bogan guy, what's his name, guy, what's that dorky stupid Australian dude, who I'm talking about, the guy with the beard and crap, Isaac. It's like I think he's an idiot. I think he's a disgusting toxic human being. I've never once called for him to cease doing what he does. He has the right to go on social media, I guess, and slander vegans, as horrible as that is, and slander me. But I've never said, I'm going to yank him off the air or something like that. So anyway, Patrick, you can stay. We're just not doing politics right now. I hope you understand. The title of this live stream says nothing about let's discuss the week in politics and stuff like that. Or it's to talk about veganism. Or if you're anti-vegan, to come here and try to convince me to not be vegan. Don't worry, Dennis. We're not going to do much politics. Thanks, AJ. Yeah, I hope that last video from yesterday didn't get too political about why people hate vegans, and it turns out people who are bigots towards vegans statistically have a much higher chance of being bigoted towards all sorts of what's the word I'm looking for? Prejudiced groups. But thanks. Yeah, I'm going to start making more videos beyond just responding to some idiot said stupid stuff about veganism. I'm going to explore some of the some deeper issues like that. Like, why do people hate us for? Why do people hate vegans? And who are these people that hate us vegans? Are they messed up individuals? Like, not all of them. I'm saying, statistically, are they more prone to some other toxic forms of behavior too? So anyway, late model, thanks for sticking up. I don't think Ryan is bunchy. I'm not even sure what bunchy means. I don't think I'm bunchy. He just wants to lead the stream in other directions. Yeah, I don't like politics. It's such a fucking bummer issue lately. I mean, it's just like, just so sick of hearing all the, it's usually bad stuff. Very rarely, oh wow, this is a good bill or something like that. This is great. It'll be great. Anyway, it's just kind of a time where we can, maybe dab our toes in the water of it sometimes when something like relevant's happening. But this is a vegan oriented live stream. There's plenty of other YouTube channels and TikTokers. That's their specialty. That's their thing, is politics and discussing current events and all that stuff. And they don't talk about veganism really. We talk more about veganism. We just accidentally dabble into light politics. But it's not like, I want to just make. I don't want to make my channel political. That's not ever been a goal of mine. I'm here to try to, promote, veganism. And, sometimes it does cross into political discussion, because everything gets politicized these days. And sometimes, we have to address that. So anyway, Travis, can we talk about religion instead? Yeah, there's another safe topic that everyone can participate in all beautifully, right? Yeah, there's another good one. Dennis, yeah, I am a guitarist. I'm a music producer, but yeah, guitar has been and is my main instrument. Let's see, Johnson, did I see that synthetic psilocybin is going through FDA trials, soon to be approved as a medication for depression? You can get at CVS. I saw a headline about it on Reddit. I didn't read the full article. I thought it, or maybe I did click on it. Is it true though? Even though it's derived from psilocybin, which psilocybin mushrooms, it doesn't produce a psychedelic or whatever you want to call it experience. Is that correct though? I'm not sure how that would treat I don't know. It's interesting. I should have read the article more carefully. Anyway, hey, Hashcode, I don't remember you before. I think people that hate those who stand against animal abuse are generally self-conscious about their actions and can't easily accept they're wrong, but they see it. That's the best kind of anti-vegan. Ones that are just like, defensively reacting. They understand, like, wow, I understand that I have to kill animals in order to live. They think and then they see what vegans are doing, and there's this kind of cognitive dissonance, like, wow, why don't I do what they're doing? But I don't want to have this emotional attachment to eating meat and stuff like that. Well, those are the best kind, meaning those are the kind of people that typically aren't anti-vegan, like also have like bigoted behaviors towards other groups, racist, LGBT, stuff like that. I watched my video from yesterday. That's what I'm referring to. And, or hippies too, huh? Late model. They could be against hippies. Thanks, AJ, for the weekly cult dues of 30 big ones. Thank you so much. That'll definitely go into the Happy Healthy Vegan fund for keeping our channel and advocacy around. Or maybe we'll just go out for a coffee or something one day soon. But thank you so much, AJ. Appreciate it. Okay, it's worth reading the full article. The legal psilocybin is like a microdose. Okay, I've been wanting to try microdosing ever since I started reading about it like 3, 4, 5 years ago, seeing how that was a big thing. It had certain benefits to it. But by the time I was asking my mushroom friend, for lack of a better term, that's not all he is about, but I said, can you get us some more mushrooms? I want to try microdosing. He wasn't getting them anymore, so I haven't bothered microdosing. So that'd be interesting. Just go down to the drugstore, the little like legal drugstore, and get some microdose psilocybin. I'd be willing to check that out. What do you tell me there, Weevo? And the lady, Ryan and the lady don't have a way out, but mathematically it's being investigated? Huh? What did I miss there? What are you talking about? Huh? Interesting. That'd be cool, John. It's like if it's like medicinally graded, like, a certain dose, so it's precise. You can do a certain amount every day or whatever that thing, or the interval you're describing. That's cool, because if you're just chopping off a bit of like a stem or a cap of a mushroom, psilocybin mushroom, you really don't know what you're getting, like how many grams or whatever in it. So that'd be cool to have it like controllable, dosable, that is measurable and repeatable. I think that's important. Jones, like, microdosing is great if you have no issues with fungus stuff. You're going to need the synthetic. Yeah, I've never had any kind of issues eating any kind of mushroom, psilocybin or not. But yeah, they do make you feel a little weird, but I always thought that was just part of the deal. What's that, Jonathan? I don't remember you before, Jonathan. Welcome. Even in your family, they don't try to be bigoted, but you'll get comments like, oh, are you cooking some fake meat? Would be like me walking to them, hey, are you cooking a dead animal? Yeah, people drop stupid comments like that, even though they don't mean to, they don't I don't think they fully realize that's, a passive aggressive thing to say, they're just reacting. Anyway, wow, Giovanni, your dad had recently tried some vegan fried chicken from your job, and he said he preferred that over regular chicken, like dead animal chicken. That's awesome. Sonny, any drugs do I recommend to take while listening to my music? Yeah, absolutely. Just smoke some weed. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to do DMT or something like that. Just chill. Be in a relaxed meditative state, That's totally fine too. Just be in some kind of, sort of altered state of consciousness that allows you to be open to subjective experiences like music listening and what have you. Yeah, that could be just in a relaxed meditative state, could be on a little weed. But yeah, I don't recommend like psychedelics or anything like that. That's a bit much. Or codeine or something like that. It sounds like it'd be weird to listen to our music on. Definitely not like amphetamines or something like that. That'd be really not appropriate. I just get high on life for sure. I feel so chill right now. I hope I'm not getting sick. I just feel all of a sudden just really tired. But I did get up kind of early today. Let's see. Hey, Nikki, anyone heard of too much sesame causing headache? No, I can't say I've heard of that one. But yeah, just get high on life, AJ. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Like I said, just listen to our music in a relaxed state, not like busy cleaning your house or something like that in the middle of the day. Just sit back when it's dark, chill out, take a breath or two, put on one of our songs. Or have a hit of weed too. That wouldn't be a bad thing either way. Let's see. VLAM says, shiitake and king oyster are tied for best mushrooms for me. Yeah, those are great. Yeah. And late model's more of a shiitake. I like both of those. Yeah, being Asian, yeah, those are like VLAM and me. Yeah, those are big ones in Asian cooking. Hey, see, John Chuck, you get prescribed amphetamines. I forgot. If you have ADHD, it's so trippy. Like I understand it works. It's just so counterintuitive, and no one did that when I was like young. But that's totally normal now. Yeah, you get prescribed certain types of amphetamines to treat ADHD, but you don't know if you're going to want to take that. Reading about people having burnt out and freak out seems sketchy. Yeah, it just seems like there's got to be some like negative like things that happen to your body. I mean, it might help you like mentally, the mind wise, but as far as like body and stuff, it seems like taking amphetamines all the time has got to have some like some short and long-term negative things. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but it just, someone tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, they did prescribe Ritalin in the 70s, late model. I guess I didn't hear about it or know about that. So doctors and teachers all wanted you on Ritalin, it's an amphetamine, right, for ADHD. So do you have ADHD? Is that why they want you on that? Sounds like you didn't take it, and that's good, or else you would have been taking amphetamines for 80s, 90s, like 4 or 5 decades? That can't be good. Let's see, Blood Rose, yesterday's video, we were talking about mine, sparked an interesting discussion if anti-vegans have increased because of the internet or if they were always prevalent in society, same percentage to percentage of vegans. That's a good question. We know bigots existed before the internet. A more interesting question is has the internet created a higher percentage of bigots, than what would have been, it was, and how the number of bigots, percentage of bigots pre-internet, or at least pre-internet getting mainstream. I wonder if the internet has become a tool to just screw up humanity somehow. Okay, I didn't fully realize that Ritalin has been around such a long time. That's awesome. Good for you, late model. I'm glad your mom didn't want you to be on drugs. And sounds like you've been getting by pretty fine with ADHD, without having to be on speed. Awesome. Let's see, what's that, Jonathan? Music is powerful. You're reading about how when you find music you're passionate about, your brain creates its own special dopamine attributed to the music that's special to you. Wow, interesting. I gotta read more research about that, but intuitively that makes sense. Hey, Redlocks, thanks for joining. Good to see you. What's that, Travis? If you're growing shrooms, the illegal part is growing them. It's legal to buy and possess spores. I don't know what the laws are now, Travis, but I know, most of my life, I've never really grown mushrooms or anything like that, but I know people that did grow them, and it was always legal, at least not illegal, to possess spores and actually mail spores, and that's what people have been doing for a long time. They order spores, mushroom spores from somewhere, which themselves are not psychedelic, and it's just a natural thing that grows in nature from fungus. and then you can cultivate those spores and grow them, and they eventually, if you do everything right, you have psilocybin mushrooms later on. But yeah, that's how people got around it. But I'm not sure what the legalities are now about any of that stuff. I haven't been following. I haven't had any psilocybin mushrooms probably in like over 10 years probably. Well, that's an interesting video, Fallon Marie. Hey, my mom sent me a video recently of someone, is it Paul Saladino maybe, saying that if you are vegan, you should supplement with beef liver. Let's see. Just because some nut says something like that, not say your mom's a nut, but let's look at what, like, are we going to die if we're vegan? Like, no, health organizations all around the world say that vegan diets are nutritionally adequate. As long as you're not doing it in a stupid way, like you're under eating and eating just raw or something like that. If you're doing a well-planned vegan diet, it's nutritionally adequate. Nowhere in here do they say, however, though, vegans, you better take some beef. What'd your mom say again? Beef liver or something like that, or else you're going to die or something like that. Well, tell your mom, like, how come the health organizations don't suggest or recommend beef liver? They say well-planned vegan diet is nutritionally adequate. Take some B12 but not beef liver. And how come we're not dead yet? That we're not supplementing with beef liver. I'm starting to feel my energy come back. Maybe it's just a lull. I don't think I ate right today too, so that's probably it. I was just getting. Then I think I started having this feedback loop. Oh, well, what if I'm sick? Maybe that's why I'm feeling kind of chill. Like, no, I just putting it together. I got weird sleep last night and been doing a lot of stuff today and didn't eat right. So it's all coming. I'm starting to feel normal now. I think you can make yourself feel sick, right? If you start thinking about it, you get in this weird loop. You start overanalyzing every sensation. Anyway, having some water, I think, is giving me a little life there. So anyway, hey, Brock, I don't remember you, Brock. Thanks for commenting here. From what you've seen around the world, the healthiest diet would be pescatarian. I don't know what the world's healthiest diet is, Brock. I've seen many people argue what's the world's healthiest diet, and I don't think there's any scientific consensus on that. What we do want to know as vegans, though, is our diet considered healthy? Is it nutritionally adequate, or is it going to kill us? I mean, you have people that make claims all the time, though, without any evidence-based information to support them. You see raw vegans that just come out and say, our diet's the healthiest in the world because it's uncooked, and when you cook your food, you're destroying all the enzymes and nutrients, and blah, and that's a bunch of shit, People will claim, all day what they think is the healthiest diet, but I don't think anyone really knows what's the healthiest diet. All we know, some diets are healthy and some are not. Like, and there's no such thing as a vegan diet, too. You could just eat beer and Oreos. Oreos are accidentally vegan. You just have beer and Oreos, and yeah, you're eating a vegan diet. You'll probably get really sick eventually and make a video why you're no longer vegan and blame it on vegan diets. But the bottom line is, well-planned vegan diets are nutritionally adequate. Well-planned, meaning not beer and Oreo. So, I'm sure people can be healthy on a pescatarian diet. It still doesn't diminish the, weaken that vegan diets are healthy on their own. So yeah, it's kind of like a pissing contest. I'm like, is that a thing, a pissing contest? Am I mixing up my my idioms here? But anyway, like it's, people can argue all day. Who's more powerful, like Iron Man or Spider-Man or Tarzan or whatever? You just make up whatever. Who knows? It's like arguing about, almost like, how many angels could dance on the head of a pin. But the bottom line is, you want to know, is a vegan diet healthy? Is it going to screw you up? Yeah, it can if you're just doing the beer and Oreos variant of it, which I highly do not recommend. But if you're doing a well-planned vegan diet, probably gonna be all right. That's what the science says. Oh, your mom is vegan, Fallon. Okay, so she sent you that article about vegans need to take, or video. It sounds like something Paul Saladino made. That just sounds like right up his alley. It's probably him or some stan of his that made it. Anyway, she thought that was so stupid, she wanted to share it. You should send that to me, Fallon. What is there? Do you have is it a YouTube video? Is there a title? I want to respond to it. That sounds amazing. Seriously, that's right up my alley. Let me know if you have the title of that video. I know because you can't paste a link, but you could paste the title and I'll just look for it. Because that sounds like perfect for me. You like that, Jesse? Good to see you, Jesse. Beer and Oreos vegans. I'm sure there's some, right? I mean, that's technically vegan. A lot of vegans just don't care, you know? They're doing it for the animals, and that's what veganism is about. But also, you should think about yourself. Don't be totally selfless, you know? You got to stay alive to help animals, right? You can't be sick and dying of nutritional deficiencies and be of any help to the animals. So I think you owe it to the animals and yourself to not do the beer and Oreos vegan diet. Selena Gomez Oreos? What in the hell are you talking about there? Yeah, VLAM. Yeah, good point. Yeah, no one really cares about having the best diet until veganism is brought up. Absolutely. Oh, Chris, you think Wonder Woman is better than Thor and Iron Man and Spider-Man and Tarzan? Yeah, Wonder Woman would probably whip all their butts, huh? Let's see, Nikki, one of your friends is pescatarian. I feel it's more ethical than full omnivore. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's, you know, I think it's better. Like some vegans might say, no, it's all forms of speciesism bad. At least they're on a path, I think, to getting rid of animal products. They just have one left or so, you know. So that's to me, it's like, do you see the glass as half empty or half full, you know? So you have assholes like vegan, I'm not going to mention his name, you know, will just bitch at someone like that, say they're evil and should be killed, and you know, whatever, unalived, whatever kind of crap people like that say, those extreme terrorist vegans that I completely dislike. Or you could say, hey, they're on the path, you know, maybe one day they say, hey, you know, I guess I don't need to eat fish after all to get my omega-3s. I'm glad I saw that Happy Healthy Vegan video or Mike the Vegan video. So just take the freaking algae supplement and don't kill the fish, you know? So, you know, I think that's our job as vegan activists, really, is to not make people hate us. People, as I showed yesterday, have enough reason to hate us already. They have tons of reasons to hate us, you know? So we don't have to help them to hate us by being complete a-holes to people all the time. And that's what those terrorist vegans do. They just terrorize everyone, say they've lost the right to be alive since they don't listen to the vegan message or whatever. Such nonsense. I mean, if everyone used that as justification for their beliefs, the unalive people who don't follow what they believe, we'd be killing everyone all the time. It's just a reductio ad absurdum for that extreme terroristic method of whatever you believe in. That's Jonathan. You've been vegan for 10 years now, you think? 32 years old, just got a blood test. Everything came back really good. Why is that such a, and good for you, boring everyday story? You know, most vegans that are doing it, you know, in a proper, sensible way, that's what should happen, right? Not because I say so, because that's what the science says, you know? It's funny how these people think you gotta, if you're eating the all plant diet, you're gonna die, you gotta inject beef tallow into your anus, or who knows what nonsense people say. Anyway, everything came out really good. The only thing, your cholesterol was a little low. Admittedly, been eating non-home cooked stuff. Your cholesterol was a little low. Was your doctor concerned? Because a lot of that's genetic, and if you want more opinion on that, you might want to visit a cardiologist or something like that. Because I was wondering, why can't I get my cholesterol any lower? Like, you know, like vegan doctors say should easily drop below 150. No, even when I was like experimenting stupidly with raw veganism, like in 2012 and stuff, I couldn't get my cholesterol below 150. Zero processed food, zero coconut oil and all that stuff. Couldn't do it. You know, there's some there are genetic limitations. Every person's biologically, you know, distinct. Oh, that's oxymoron. That's logically impossible. Kappa, you're vegan, but you still eat meat. No, you're not vegan if you still, you know, unless you're eating like lab-grown meat or something like that, or you exclusively eat roadkill. I mean, you always hear about these. And when you're vegan, you always hear about living on a desert island. What if you're trapped on a desert island? And what about roadkill? Like, okay, what about roadkill? But anyway, okay, if that's what you're doing, awesome. I guess, you know, that sounds really gross, and I hope you don't get hepatitis or something. And anyway, Are you just trolling us, bro? You say you raise the meat and you don't name it, so it's very vegan. Are you just trolling us? Do you want to present an argument? Are you trying to argue that if you raise an animal and don't name it and then kill it, you're somehow ethically justified or something like that? Because let's look at what veganism is. Let's make sure we're all on the same page here. First of all, look here how eating a plant-based diet is healthy. But veganism is a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So are you saying that there's no cruelty or exploitation going on if you raise your own animal and don't name it? Well, most farmers don't name their animals. They might tag their animals like A27B59J4, whatever. That's not necessarily named, it's just a label. So you're saying if you don't label it, it's somehow ethical. So if I have a kid, if I have a baby and I don't name it, so it would be morally justifiable to unalive the baby as long as I raise it myself and don't name it. Do you see the absurdity? That's called a reductio ad absurdum. I'm using your logic, making a parallel argument, using the same form of argumentation that you put out there to show you the complete absurdity of that reasoning. You see how the morality of what you're saying is okay there. If you don't name something and you raise it yourself, it justifies all other sorts of immoral behavior. So anyway, thanks for trying. That was a fun attempt to debunk veganism. I know you're just trolling us, but it got me excited. I don't feel sick anymore. So thank you. I guess I was just having a low energy moment right there, So anyway, I just realized Uncle's not here. I know Peter said he had a movie to go to tonight. So let's see. Graven says they're not a troll. They're just high on Tylenol. I didn't know you could get high on Tylenol, I guess, if you take it up. Vegan is a spectrum. No, it's not a spectrum. Happy Model, Sarah, thanks for being a moderator tonight for, not a moderator, a member for 32 months. I might make AG or someone one if I need one, but I typically don't. But let's look at veganism. It's not a spectrum. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation, meaning two things. It's a way of life and a philosophy. The philosophy is, you're against animal cruelty and exploitation. The way of living means that instead of just thinking that, you actually do something with your life, like to put practices into your life, like say, don't purchase whatever animal products. So it's not a spectrum. It's kind of like binary. Either you do this or you don't. Either you're against animal cruelty and exploitation and you don't participate in those things, or you don't. You can't be a little bit vegan. It's like being a little bit pregnant or a little bit dead or something like that. You either are or not. It's like being a little bit of a circle or a little bit of a square. It either is or isn't a square or a circle. It's very a binary thing. If you're something else, there's vegetarian. That's not veganism. It's something different. It's close to veganism. It's on the way, just like pescatarianism is on the way, sort of, But those terms all have their own distinct definition. So, but there's a spectrum, like going from being like, say, a carnivore to an omnivore to like, say, a vegetarian or pescatarian to vegan. There's that kind of spectrum of diet, but there's not a spectrum of vegan. There's a spectrum of eating, but not a spectrum of vegan ethics. You're either doing it or not, It's like being against rape, grape. So let me say, either you're against animal cruelty and exploitation or not. If you are, you don't participate. It's like being against grape. It's like, I'm kind of against grape, but I do it once. It's like a spectrum, I can do some things to my dates or whatever, and that's okay. There's some unconsensual things. It's like a spectrum. No, you're either against grape or you're not. So anyway, let's get back to what you guys are talking about here. Sonny, do I use a click track for my recording? Sometimes I use a click track. I was just using one yesterday because I was recording, I usually just play along to the rhythm, to the beat and the drums. I'll crank the drums up if I really need to hear the timing really well. But I wanted to record a guitar part at the very beginning of a new song we're working on. So there's nothing before it, I could have just copied the drum beat and put it for a few bars before the intro, but I just on Logic Pro, I just clicked on turn on click track for recording just for that one section. But I typically don't use a click track. I often use it early on in a song's development when I don't have a lot of elements. Say I'm just working on some music and there's no like drum pattern or rhythm, anything yet. So I usually don't, but I'll use a click track, not a trick clack. I use a click track only when it really needs to be there. If you have already a rhythm section, drum section, whatever, don't really need one. Some people like it though. I mean, I'm not knocking. I'm just telling you how I work. Yeah, Chris, I'm not trying to morally whitewash or justify vegetarianism because, vegetarian food involves, tons of cruelty and exploitation. The dairy industry is the meat industry. It's just as cruel and exploitative. One could argue perhaps even more so than just like, the regular beef industry. But they're essentially one and the same as far as, being the same industry of animal exploitation. So I'm not trying to whitewash it or anything like that. I'm just saying it's on the spectrum. Yeah, Pat House, I'm exactly 75 years old. Yeah, let's look at other people that are my age, 75. Let's see. Let's see. People who are 75. Let's see. Let's see. Famous people that are 75 years old. Yeah, I'm the age of Stevie Wonder. And Bill Murray. Yeah, totally. Yeah, me and Bill Murray, totally bros. Yeah, we look pretty much the same. I don't even know if that's shot him at 75. But yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm 75. Yeah, exactly. You got it. See is it amazing at 75 I can still like pretty much slam dunk and beat like 18 and 25 and 35-year-olds on the basketball court. This is amazing. I'm like the world's most athletic and like 75-year-old ever. Yeah, totally cool. Yeah, I'm absolutely 75 years old. Look at this face, 75 years old. So think about your grandpa who's about 75. Yeah, your grandpa probably looks a lot like this, right? Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm, totally. Yeah, 75 years old. Yep. I'm. Let's see what an average. Let's see some more people who are 75 years old. Let's see. Let's see if I can find images of 75 years old. Let me just look here if I can find something like that. Okay, like Steve Martin. Yeah, me and him just look like we were like twins almost, right? Yeah, totally, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, 75. You're like a psychic, bro. No, I'm exactly 75, Pat. Exactly. So, what's the point you're trying to make here? You think I look like Steve Martin and Bill Murray? Let's find a current picture of Bill Murray. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a better shot here. So you're saying that's pretty much I kind of look like Bill Murray there? All right, so thanks for being a nice ageist person there. But yeah, it shows you what kinds of people. You should watch my video from yesterday. It shows that people who are anti-vegan, you're bigots. You're bigots only because of something that we believe in. And people who are bigoted towards vegans also rank high on being bigots towards all sorts of groups. You guys are usually ageist, sexist, racist, homophobic, the whole spectrum, the whole hit parade of bigotry. So yeah, thanks. Wrinkles start in your late 50s? Well, I'm in my late 50s, bro. And wrinkles, is that true, guys? Anyone think that people who are in their 40s or early 50s, you guys are wrinkle free? Really? I mean, I think I don't have a hell of a lot of wrinkles. There's many reasons for having wrinkles. One reason is I don't do Botox or injections or anything like that. And that's the thing. If you're not fat or whatever, having some weight on your body plumps you up. It fills you out nice and round and everything. That's good. But if you're have a lower BMI than say 25 or 24, you get shrunken in. That's why people put the injections in to plump themselves back out, even though their bodies want them to be more shriveled down or anything like that. And yeah, late models, wrinkles start far earlier than that. But yeah, lots of things, Heidi. Genetics, exposure to sun. But look, I mean, I have some wrinkles, but I think for 58, I'm looking pretty damn good. I mean, look at this. Let's get in here. Up nice and close. Look, it's pretty freaking smooth, you know? I mean, considering I'm like almost 60 years old, you know, I mean, if I do something like this, I can make more wrinkles appear. But anyway, let's see. But you're acting like, who cares? Let's say, pals, let's say I'm an ugly motherfucker. Okay, let's just go with your thing here. I'm ugly. So what? What is your point? Did you come here to say, oh, you're ugly, therefore veganism debunked? Or did you just come here to be a bigoted asshole to me? What is your point? I'm not even going to debate if I'm attractive or if I look my age. That's irrelevant. I don't care. I can make the arguments if I want, but I want to understand why you're here saying that for. Is it to try to make me feel bad, or is it to debunk veganism somehow? So let's just hear your motivation for speaking such bullshit. No, let's go with the argument's sake. Let's just say I'm hideous. I'm ugly as F, you know. Women just won't touch me. I'm unattractive. I'm just look horrible or whatever. Let's just give them that, okay? So you're saying my diet isn't working. So if I can find other people that are my age who look worse than me, can I say, and they're meat eaters, can I say that meat eating isn't working? So like if I could just find someone my age who looks worse than me, that's the burden of proof. That's what you say here. You just said just by physical appearances alone. If I could find someone my age who looks worse than me, has more wrinkles or something like that, that would prove that omnivorism is debunked, right? Pat, I never said I'm eating this way to look better than normal people. And I guess normal people mean non-vegans. So is that your point? Let me understand. So if I can just go right now and find a 58-year-old that looks worse than me, that will be sufficient evidence to prove that veganism is superior to that person's diet? Or would we say that person's diet's worse than mine? Is that the only measuring stick we need? That's the only criteria, is physical appearance. That's all I got to do. All right, so let's find, could I go do that right now, Pat, and try to find someone my age who looks worse than me? I'm just going to do it right now. Let's find someone my age. Let's see. It's hard to find, let's see. What does a 58-year-old look like? Okay. Oh, I know what to do. Hey, Angie, could you find me the link for that Richard guy who was my age that was addicted to AI? Okay, 1 second. I have a great find for you, Pat. Yes, I have emotions, bro. Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to be? Would I be better would I please you if I had no emotions? Physically weak? I mean, what do you mean by physically weak? I can fucking slam dunk. You want to watch my slam dunk? Can you slam dunk, Pat? I've been slam dunking in my 50s. I started slam dunking in my 50s. So that takes a lot of work. That took a lot of years of training, and just learning the proper bodily mechanics to elevate to that height. But anyway, no, Pat, I'm ugly. I'm absolutely hideous. I'm not making any claim here about looking like the next Brad Pitt or Keanu Reeves or something like that. So let's see if Angie can help me out here. Pat, I'm gonna just hang on 1 second here. Oh, my voice. You don't like my voice. You don't like anything about me, and that's all to do with veganism. So, I had the same voice before I went vegan. So how does that totally fuck your argument up that, you don't like my voice? My voice has been pretty much the same. No, Angie, I don't care if I'm attractive or not. So anyway, let's see if Angie can find me that. Shit. She's not responding. Yeah, Pat, I'm sure you're like the strongest person in the world. Angie's not listening to me. I'm gonna call her. I never call Angie. I don't even know how to do it. Hang on one second. All right, one second. I'm going to call my wife over another room. It's me.
Hello?
Hey, I guess you didn't get your message. Do you think you'd be able to find the video of that dude Richard, the guy that was my age and addicted to AI?
Why? You want to show it to them?
Yeah, I got someone here who his claim is that I look really old for my age, and that's entirely due to my diet. So you're saying the burden of proof I have is really simple. I just have to find someone my age who looks worse than me, then therefore we can prove that veganism is a superior diet. So I was seeing if you could find that link for me.
Okay. All right.
All right, that'd be awesome. All right, thanks. All right, so let's just wait a second as Angie does some work for me, and we have a dude who's 58 years old, not vegan, so we'll put him up here in a second. Okay, Pat, beauty's doing you wrong. Wrong about what? What claim have I made that is factually incorrect? So we're just going to wait for you to just one thing at a time. You're just flinging poop on the walls here. Before you just get too into it here, let's look at the rules here. Oh, see, people love to come here and say this. This is the last idiot that came before and tried to debunk veganism based upon how they didn't think I was the most attractive person or anything like that. So let's get rid of that for right now and put the rules back up. So you're in the last camp here. If you're trying to debunk veganism, just discuss one of your claims at a time. Don't bring up a bunch of new claims and throw poop on the wall. So right now you're still resting on the claim that my burden of proof is to show people my age who look older than me. And if I can do that, then veganism is a superior diet, because that's the burden of proof that you set here. You look old. Yeah, I look 58. Yeah, and you don't have to fuck with me. When I play basketball at the gym, I film the games of, I'm typically winning one-on-one games, and I ask the guys, like, how do you think I am? I usually get like 45, sometimes 53, something like that. No one has ever guessed my exact age, or 75. So I know when you say shit like that, you're just trying to make me feel bad. I know you're trying to hurt my feelings, but unfortunately, I'm not a precious snowflake. I know what your intentions are. Your intention is to be an asshole. So anyway, no, we're just waiting for Angie to provide me what I'm looking for. And once we do that, then we'll move on and we will get back to our regular discussion here. Yeah, what's the problem with aging? Pat, just chill out, bro. Just fucking shut up and chill out, and I'm gonna put you in your place and show you that your reasoning is completely just full of shit. You know, that's the burden of proof. I just have to find someone my age who looks older than me. And I know a really great video of someone. All right, cool. Angie got the link here, so let me grab it here. Okay, cool. Let me hit back. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna go find what I'm looking for here. This dude. Let me put it up here. This guy is my age. I don't know. I think he's looking. He's definitely not looking younger than me. So there we go. Let's go into the video a little bit here. After we have to get past the ad.
Hi, ChatGPT. Got any cooking ideas for me today? Disturbing behavior.
In place, and to design their product that way.
We wanted to find out why people seek relationships with AI and what risks come with them.
Okay, here we go.
While browsing on one Discord group, we found a particularly active member and got in touch. Richard is 58.
There we go. Richard's 58. There you go. So Pat, if you think that guy looks younger than me, you can go fuck yourself. And thank you for coming here and being a bigot and exposing yourself for what you really are. You're not here in good faith in any way. You came here to try to hurt my feelings. You think I'm some kind of precious snowflake, but I'm way more tough and confident than you ever had wildly dreamed of. Trying to be an ageist bigot. So there you go. Found a guy my age who looks demonstrably older than me. Therefore, I can confidently say, using your reasoning, paralleling your thoughts there, your logical, your lack of logic, but your argument would be that his diet is worse than mine, and this guy's not a vegan. So anyway, first of all, I'm going to ban you for being a bigoted asshole. It's a long time coming, so hang on. All right. Let's see. Hide user on this channel, and he's gone. All right, so there we go. Now we can back to our regular programming. Giovanni, Pat can't answer you because he got banned for being a bigoted asshole. Let's look at the rules again here. If you're trying to be, okay, first of all, be civil. He did personal attacks. He's being ageist. So he's already violated 2 rules for getting banned. Then he's throwing rule number 3, violating that, just throwing poop on the walls. Just coming at one dumb bigoted thing after another. So yeah, thanks, Pat, whatever your name is. You totally exposed yourself for what you were. You're the typical person I was talking about in my video yesterday. If you're bigoted towards vegans, you probably have other attitudes towards the group. You're ageist, you know? And if we kept you on here longer, we probably would have found you to be racist or something too. I wouldn't be too surprised. So anyway, let's move on. Oh no, Lizzie, I just wanted to expose him for being complete fucking loser assholes. So that's why I waited for Angie to get that video of Richard, who is 58 years old.
Thanks for the tip.
At the worst, we look the same. I think he looks a hell of a lot older. And I'm not bagging on Richard, the physicist from Austria. He's probably a fine dude, but I'm just saying. That was the burden of proof that this dumb troll put on me. Just find one person who is not vegan and looks older than me, then that's all I needed to do, and we did it. Yeah, I'm sorry about the language, Angie. It just, yeah, all right, we're cool now. We're totally cool. And I'm glad he kind of waked me up. I was feeling kind of tired. Angie and I have been quite busy all day, and we didn't get the greatest sleep. So anyway, he kind of perked me up. So thank you, hater troll, for coming here. I know your intention was trying to put me down and make me feel bad. Oh, boo, some nameless faces troll saying mean things about me. Oh, I'm gonna quit. No, you actually got me energized and fired up, and I don't feel like I'm catching a cold or anything anymore. So thank you, hater. You've made my day. Seriously, you have made my day even better. And thank you, Chi Jones, for donating $5. Thanks for bouncing, Pat. Dude was a clown. And clown is a really kind way to describe a bigoted a-hole like that. So anyway, thank you so much, T. Jones. Much appreciated. Oh, Christopher. Well, thanks for being with us tonight. And Graven, yeah, everyone ages differently. It has a lot to do with lifestyle, stress, genetics, sun exposure, and to blame it on a person's eating bananas or potatoes or something like that is completely stupid and not based on any evidence other than maybe some stupid, like, shirtless influencer in the jungle saying some total nonsense. Yeah, it's a pretty good guess there, Heidi. Yeah, it's just some stupid kid, I'm sure. Or at least he behaves like one. Hopefully he'll make another account and try to come back and I'll just ban him, you know. Anyway. Did he really say that, AJ? As Indiana Jones said, it's not the years, it's the mileage. Absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. Hey, Rob, do you have an argument that you'd actually like to make, or are you just going to just sit there and tell us what you ate? Because I really don't give a shit about what you ate, but if you actually have some kind of argument or evidence against veganism, now would be a really good time to throw it out there. If not, we're just going to kick your ass out here for trolling. So it's your balls in your court right now. How do you respond? Hit the ball back over to you. Do you want to give us an argument or evidence against veganism, or are you just going to sit there? Oh, I'm eating meat right now. That's really not impressing me. It's just making me think, wow, that's the best. That's the best you got. You liking the energy? Cool. Shows you vegans have energy. And Graven, yeah, being 75 is definitely not something ashamed to be of. I could have died many times in my life, accidents, who knows, so many ways, one can go. Getting to 75 is awesome, Sun City, I didn't see your argument. No other species willingly gives up eating meat whilst physically being able to. So that's not really an argument. You're just making a claim, like the sun rises every morning in the east or something like that. You're just making some kind of observation. I'm not sure what you mean by scientifically proven. Veganism isn't science. You don't like do the scientific method, do an experiment, you can come out with a conclusion. You accept the hypothesis that veganism is true. No, it's not that at all. It falls more into the realm of philosophy. We don't need to look at our friend the physicist here anymore. Veganism. Let's make sure we're all on the same page here, son. Not telling you my son, but Sun City King. Veganism is a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So it's not science, it's philosophy. It's a philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of animal cruelty and exploitation. That's the philosophy. The way of life is, the way of living is avoiding animal products. So you could believe this stance in your head and still just be a hypocrite and eat animals all day. It means believing this and actually putting the practices in your life where you're not participating in animal cruelty and exploitation. So anyway, hopefully I made that clear there for you. Snickers, veganism is a meme nowadays. I'm not sure what you mean there, but if you have an argument or evidence against veganism, that would be awesome. But to say it's a meme really does nothing to weaken having a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. I'd love to hear an argument if you have one, but if you're just going to just make claims like that, we really don't have a way to sort through that. Yeah, Forever Young. Yeah, absolutely. I just talked about that about 15 minutes ago. Vegan diet can be unhealthy. There's nothing about eating plants, because it doesn't say here, we just don't consume animal products. That means eat plants and fungi. Like I said, you could just eat beer and Oreos. That's your diet. When you're hungry, you grab the Oreos. When you're thirsty, you chug down the beer. You could do that. Call yourself a vegan if you're against animal cruelty and exploitation. That's a shit diet. It doesn't mean all ways of vegan are shit. It just means there's unhealthy ways and there are healthier ways of doing it. Oh, wait, Fallon Marie. Hey, Ryan, I'm sorry. I got behind in the chat. It's called Ancestral Wisdom Show. Do you have the title of a video so I can just type that into, punch that into Google or YouTube? And then I'll be able to find it. I might have trouble tracking that down, but I appreciate you getting me on the right path there. Let's see, Snickers, you're ex-vegan but not anti-vegan. Awesome. Yeah, that's why I say if someone wants to quit veganism for whatever reason, I'll disagree with them philosophically and emotionally, I guess, but it doesn't mean that you have to throw veganism under the bus. I said if you're going to quit, just quit. But you don't have to say, oh, it was all a bunch of lies or something like that, and then start making up lies. Yeah, all my vegan friends died, because they're so deficient or something like that. That's cool. I'm glad you weren't a lot of the people that make these I'm no longer vegan videos. So you're ex-vegan but not anti-vegan. One of the reasons being the rejection of anti-vegan hate. Awesome. Yeah, anti-vegans are usually just spouting hate. So I'm glad you saw that, and I respect you for being like that. Yeah, and VLAM, here's a good one. Challenge for anti-vegans. Argue against veganism without using the word health. I mean, we can discuss health, but veganism at its core is not a health movement. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. We can discuss if you give up animal products, can you be healthy? But at its core, veganism is about animals, rejecting the notion, the assumption that humans need to exploit animals in order for us to live. Wow, Forever Young, a troll was saying a vegan diet lacks nutrients. Really, I didn't know when I go and eat all my fruits and vegetables and potatoes and legumes. I didn't know those foods were like eating cardboard. There's no nutrients in any of those foods. I mean, are they stupid? You just look it up. Just Google what nutrients are in any plant food. Just type it in there. You'll see. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Is this troll still here that says that? Announce yourself. Say, hey, yes, I am the troll who solidly believes that plants lack nutrients. I mean, even like guys like Paul Saladino would totally laugh you out, you know, like the carnivore MD would laugh at you because that's totally untrue. It's a completely false thing to say. It's laughably stupid. But Mark, yeah, I'm with you. I enjoy the health benefits too. I love having a nice sprightly kind of stride still on the basketball court. Yeah, most guys my age, way more overweight, higher body mass index, harder for them to move. I'm still pretty freaking sprightly, especially on defense. Yeah, AJ, you've had a ton of fruits and veggies today, ignorant anti-vegans. Yeah, a late model for sure. Vegan for the animals, and if you're thinking about yourself, in addition to the animals, do whole food plant-based for good health. Let's see. Okay, Sun King. Let's say you're back to. I responded to your point there. Your point about veganism doesn't fall under the domain of science. Your point was that ethical standards are a uniquely human practice in eating. Thus, philosophically, should we change the rules of nature? What do you mean the rules of nature? You're making this so complicated. We don't need to discuss. We don't need to get down and figure out which moral theories are correct. Is it deontology? Is it virtue ethics? Is it utilitarianism? Do we need to get deeper? No, I mean, veganism is such a simple concept. You could be in grade school and understand it. All you have to understand is like, oh, animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong. You find it wrong. Like, gee, let me put it really simply for you, Sun City King. Like, why would I want to have animals killed for me? Either, I'm not going to kill them. I never killed them. Even when I was not vegan, I paid, or my parents paid or whatever, for animals to be killed so we could eat them. So my point is, why have animals killed needlessly for you when you could just eat plants? I mean, because I like animals. I don't want animals to die. I mean, most people understand it's wrong to go and like hit your dog or cat with a shovel or whatever. They understand that's completely like not good on many levels. First of all, it causes harm. It's cruel to animals. So if you believe that animals, are subjects worthy of just us killing them, you could just eat plants instead. That's my point. Yeah, we don't need to get in deep philosophical waters here. I mean, we can. People do it all the time, but it's a really simple concept. Doesn't need to be muddied up. My point is, why would I want to have animals killed for me in order for me to live when I could choose another path that involves eating plants instead? See, there's two paths you go down. Animals necessarily killed for you in order for you to live. But I love animals, so I can just go down this other path where animals don't have to be bred into existence, live a shortened life full of exploitation and cruelty, to have their lives abruptly shortened by meeting the stun gun and being slaughtered. I mean, why would I want that when just eat plants? Like, fuck, it's so easy. It's just like a no-brainer. That's what veganism is about, realizing that you don't have to participate in animal cruelty and exploitation in order to have the foods and other things you need in order to live. Super, super simple concept. Again, we don't need to have just have a discussion of ethics. It's just a matter of why would you intentionally choose cruelty and exploitation when those are unnecessary for you to sustain yourself? Blood Rose 75. We get our nutrients from the same place animals do. Animals are given, a lot of livestock, factory farming livestock are given supplements with B12 and other nutrients that we think we're getting from the animals. Not to say all are given that, but look, I'll Google it for you. I'll show you the products that the animal agriculture industry uses to goose up the nutrients in their products. Products being the animal bits that they sell. LEJ, what if veganism made someone sick? Well, I would ask, why would it make them sick? And I ask this because let's look at what, first of all, veganism is a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. But the thing is, why would it make someone sick? As long as they're doing it in a sensible way. Look at all these health organizations from around the world who reviewed the mountains of scientific literature that, the studies that have been done into plant-based nutrition. And they've made position statements, risking their reputations if they're given dietary advice that is harmful or even could kill people. He said it could make them sick. If you're following a well-planned, a sensible vegan diet, you are going to get all the nutrients that your body needs. Yeah, but take a B12 supplement just to be safe. But yeah, like, why would it make you sick? I mean, you can pose the same argument too, LEJ. Like, I know many people who eat meat, and they get sick. They get diseases. Are we to blame that on eating meat? Or is it just other factors, environmental, genetic factors that cause disease? So I'm not sure why, if someone got sick, it would be attributed to veganism, unless they were doing it in a really unhealthy way, if they weren't following guidelines like what I'm pointing out here. Just like someone could eat McDonald's every day, right? And run into health complications from eating McDonald's. But I don't know of any health organizations that say, yeah, if you eat McDonald's pretty much all the time, you're fine. You're going to be totally good. That's very healthy and nutritionally adequate. So Sun City is back to my discussion here. Let's see. So if an animal is raised right, what does animal raised right mean? Had a great life provided by humans on a free range. And well, it's still, you're saying, I've heard this argument a bunch of times, Sun City. You're saying, hey, if we treat an animal, I'm going to take your argument and just pump it up 100 times more. Let's say I have an animal in my backyard and I love it. I even give it a name. It comes in and sleeps with me. I treat it like a king. I bathe it every night in olive oil. I give it everything. I love it. I get everything. I treat it wonderfully. How does that make it how does that justify ending its life so I could have bacon the next day or something like that? I don't understand how, if you treat, so the argument or the logic is basically, if you treat a sentient being or an agent with respect, kindness, and love, then you are justified in ending its life. Do you understand how that doesn't make any sense? Because I can go treat a person really nice and bathe them in olive oil or whatever, treat it like a king or king. Then I would say, okay, well, I'm going to kill you now so I can eat you because I have the right now because I gave you a really, really good life. See what I'm saying? That it doesn't really make sense. I don't see how well you treat someone somehow morally justifies you killing them. See, it just doesn't add up. There's no moral justification there. The point is, you don't need to eat a human. You don't need to eat an animal. You can just eat plants. You don't need to treat humans or animals really nice so you can slaughter them later. Just eat plants. Oh, okay, Ali, I'm sorry I didn't read your entire question. Let me see what you said here. Your sister was vegan for 16 years. Cool. I'm going to be... like next month or so, it'll be my 15th year. Your sister was vegan for 16 years. She did everything she could to maintain it, but her health deteriorated, improved when she put meat and animal products in her diet. And I really don't know. I mean, that's a really quick synopsis there. LEJ, I have no idea what your sister's doing. I'm not a medical doctor. Did she talk to, whatever her issues were? I know, say a lot of vegans who quit, I'm no longer vegan, they say they had gastrointestinal issues. It's funny, very few of them ever go to see a doctor, let alone a gastroenterologist, to see how you can work it out. And I know I can, if say for gastroenterology issues, I know a vegan, an ethical vegan who is I think a board certified gastroenterologist. You can meet with her online if you don't live in the Southern California area where her office is located. So I'm just going, I know meat eaters that get sick and then they try vegan diets and they're better. So just because someone was not doing great on a certain diet, that's an anecdotal story. It's not science. But I'm saying just because you change your diet and you feel better, that doesn't mean that the previous diet necessarily was responsible. There'd be other factors. But the point is, if that's your sister's case, I'm sorry to hear that. Again, the bottom line is that health organizations can't give advice like this if the science said, oh yeah, vegan diets get you sick after a while. They would have it in here. They say you'll probably last a certain amount of time. You could go 10, 15 odd years and then it's all going to start going downhill from there. So sorry to hear about your sister, though. I'm not trying to I'm not being mean or uncaring about your sister at all there. Just want you to know that. And I really can't go off much what you're saying here. That's just too, it's just too little information. And again, I'm not a medical doctor, so it's not my job to like diagnose people or anything like that. John, what about the John Droscher? Hey, John, how about the argument that both plants and animals are living things? Yeah, of course, yeah, plants are living things. That's the thing. Vegans don't eat plastic. Here's the thing. Veganism is a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So in order to fulfill that moral belief we have, to honor that, we just don't consume animals and their products. So that leaves us with two other living things we can eat. Plants and fungi. So that's it. We just don't eat things from the animal kingdom. All things from, or at least edible things, non-poisonous things from the plant and fungi kingdom are open game. Yeah, no one in their right mind denies that plants that they're, of course they're living. Yeah, humans we're biological creatures. We need to eat other living things. We just don't eat the ones that have faces and mothers and sentience. Forever Young says, I've done all the, quote, diets. Health issues come up on all of them. Yes, I know. I've seen these people that quit. I'm no longer vegan people. They go on to something else, carnivore, because that's trendy. They quit that because at first they feel amazing. Then they have issues, usually the same issues that they had when they were vegan. They just went away for a bit. Then they come back. So anyway, LEG, is this a purely ethical discussion? No, we discuss all aspects of veganism there, Ali. I just say, I can't really talk too much about your sister's situation. I really don't know what made her sick. I'm not even sure if she properly fully knows, unless she sought the expertise of medical professionals to determine what's going on. But I'm glad she's feeling better. We don't want anyone to feel crap or anything like that. But yeah, if you have any other questions, but I'm just saying, I'm just not limiting our discussion here to ethical issues. We talk about any and all aspects of veganism. But once we get into how it made some person feel, it's really hard to wrap our heads around that, like philosophically or logically. There's just not much to do, like personal stories there. So that's why we don't dwell on like personal stories, or at least that's even harder, a personal story from someone else, So I hope you understand what I'm getting at here. Prescott, well, veganism has nothing to do with God. First of all, I'm not Christian, so I have no obligation to follow what God said or did or didn't do. All we're talking about here is having an ethical stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. That's what's up at table here. So yeah, if you have religious beliefs, awesome. I'm not saying not to have religious beliefs, but that's not going to be your moral justification here. You're going to have to ground what you're saying in logic, rather than, the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or the Bhagavad Gita or whatever said it. That doesn't really help us here. It's true because a holy book said it. That's not going to help us here. You're gonna watch some K-dramas, Graven? Yeah, it's a weird night tonight, huh? And VLAN points out, we eat living things, but not, as I said, not all living things are sentient. Time to educate anti-vegans. Sentience, the ability to experience feelings, emotions, sensations, to have a conscious experience, which something that, say, like a walnut doesn't have or something. Sun City King, could this discussion go even further into things like clothes from wool, milk, cows? Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Yeah, absolutely. This is the first time we've thought about issues like that. Yeah, if products come from animals, from exploiting animals, vegans aren't into that. That violates what our core beliefs are. Again, it's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. So, most vegans are against honey for that very reason, because bees they make honey for themselves, for bee purposes. I'm not an entomologist, but I know they use it for the health of the colony, the queen, all sorts of stuff. Bees make honey, they produce honey. They've been doing that for millions of years for bee purposes. And to take that honey away from them and use it for human purposes, we could look at what exploitation is, the definition. It's using the work of another being for your gain or benefit. So yeah, if you truly believe exploiting other beings for your gain is wrong, yeah, that you got to be consistent and not have honey. And you don't need to have honey. There's plenty of other sweeteners. I use agave all the time. I don't miss honey in the slightest bit. And there's not like some nutrient in honey that is necessary for human health. If you don't consume honey, you'll be dead or deficient or something like that. So yeah, just make a change. It's not that hard. John Droscher, so do vegans not try to get rid of ants? No, that's not what veganism is. Again, it's against animal cruelty and exploitation. John, what you're thinking of is called Jainism. Just Google it, Janism. You're actually thinking of the ahimsa concept, Ahimsa, the ahimsa concept from Jainism and Buddhism, which is like trying to harm no living being whatsoever. I'm misstating the concept. That's basically it in a nutshell. No, we're against animal cruelty and exploitation. Yeah, I step on an ant, and I feel bad, but what am I going to do? It's just, we're against animal cruelty and exploitation. I'm not like exploiting the ant or anything. I'm not like training them to work for me or something like that. I'm not selling them so I can make money or something like that. So yeah, I'm sure I run over bugs all the time when I'm driving and walking and stuff like that. Still vegan and AF, I'm 100% vegan. It doesn't mean doing absolutely no harm in the world. That's more of the ahimsa concept. That's not what veganism is. We're against animals intentionally being bred into existence, living a life completely 100% in exploitation, and living a shortened life to have it ended in a slaughterhouse. So that's what veganism is, against the whole process of and it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it can be lesser forms of exploitation that don't immediately result in being killed in a slaughterhouse, like say like wool or honey or stuff like that. But yeah, good question though. Yeah, you're asking all the right questions. Stickers. You're asking about like bivalves and stuff like that. Honestly, don't know too much about bivalves. I know in order to have sentience, you need to have a brain and central nervous system. And bivalves, from what I understand, have a nervous system, not a central nervous system, but they have things I thought that are neuron-like. They're too close to sentient for me, so I don't eat them. The bottom line is, once again, kind of like honey, you don't need to eat bivalves in order to be alive or healthy or something like that. Sure, if I were stranded on a desert island and I was facing death and I ate all the plants, first thing I would do is, before looking for big animals, assuming the desert island even had any, I'd be looking for bivalves, But that's a survival situation. No, since we're not in survival situations, thank God, right now, yeah, you don't need to eat bivalves. There's nothing in a bivalve that you need. In fact, bivalves are typically suckers of pollutants. They absorb pollution from the ocean. So why would I want to eat something that's like, let it clean the ocean? I don't want to eat all the crap that it accumulated. Thank you, William, so much for your super chat tip. Much appreciated. Sun City King, you really don't believe animal products are exploitation. How is it not? Please explain to me, how is it not exploitative to breed an animal into existence and kill it to sell it for food? How is that not exploitation? Let's look at the definition of exploitation if you're not convinced. The action or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. So you're using an animal as their body is the only thing of worth to them, not their life or anything, not their experiences. Their body is the commodity that you're going to profit from or benefit from. That's completely exploitation. There's no way to argue that's not exploitative of an animal, to breed it to existence, keep it in captivity and slaughter that. That's like, you can't get, that's like 100% exploitation. Hey, David's vegan. Thanks. Hey, Ryan, thanks for doing what you do. Always appreciative seeing you when I can get on Friday nights. Awesome. Nice way to start a weekend. That's how I kind of feel about Friday nights, too. Snickers. Mushrooms are plants. No, they're not plants. They're fungi. They're a different kingdom. There's the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and the fungi kingdom. So yeah, vegans eat from the fungi and plant kingdoms. And they don't have sentience. They don't have brains or central nervous systems. I know that they have like networks, how they communicate and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean that they're sentient. I mean, we have like networks in this house that I constructed here out of Cat5 cable and network switches. There's communication going on between electrons and stuff like that. It doesn't mean my network here is sentient because they're networked together. You need to have certain apparati that are missing in mushrooms and routers. Rob, I banned you. I didn't mean to ban you, Rob. I banned someone else earlier tonight. Did you have a question? If you want to ask a question, you can do it. But I banned the guy who I know exactly the guy I banned. It wasn't you. I only banned one guy tonight. Maybe someone else banned you. Now I don't have one of my other moderators on, but just ask your question. It's all good. I'm glad you're back. You obviously didn't get too banned because you're here right now. Yeah, thanks for pointing out, late model. I don't see all the comments. Oblam, no, instead of trying to tempt me, why don't you just ask your question again? And I'll be on the lookout for your question, Oblam. Can you help me out? I'm running a live stream. I'm not omniscient. I'm just a simple human here who's a little tired. I did a lot today, got up early. So if you want to ask your question, I will answer it. I don't run from questions here. Just ask your question instead of like complaining to me and getting all accusatory and hurt or something like that. Just ask, But thanks for pointing that out, Sarah. And good night, Nikki, if you're leaving us right now. It's simply, okay, Sun City King, you're not getting, it's simply better for survival to get food access. What do you mean by survival, Sun City? Are you talking about survival? I mean, I can walk to the market here and buy plants. What are you talking about? Survival. I can walk to the supermarket and buy all the plants I need for me and my family. So I don't know what you mean by survival. Are you talking about a survival situation? Like, that's different. If it's a matter of life and death, like World War III breaks out, a 9.5 earthquake hits you, that's different than right now. Right now, none of us are in a survival situation. We're all here on the internet together. If you're in a survival situation, you'd be doing something else right now. So I'm not sure what you mean by survival. I can easily go to the market and choose to buy plants rather than the dead animal bits there. So tell me how survival plays into the scenario that you're painting here. Now we're waiting, Jesse. We're waiting for Oblam to ask his question. Brandon, I'm going to just cut you off right there. Brandon, saying that you need the nutrients in meat. Though that's your assertion, and assertions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. But let's look at the actual opinions of scientists here, the actual organizations of health professionals. So yeah, as you can see here, they've reviewed the scientific literature, made these statements about the healthfulness, actually the nutritional adequacy, since you brought up nutrition there, the nutritional adequacy of well-planned vegan diets, appropriate for all people in all stages of life. So Brandon, the burden of evidence is on you now to prove that what all these health organizations from around the world who have reviewed the scientific literature, which I assume you have not, what proof or evidence do you have that this is completely wrong, and you know something that the British National Health Service and the Mayo Clinic and the dietitians of Canada don't know, and totally turns us on its head? So come back and please provide us with what you know that'll change all our lives here, and you'll just revolutionize the field of vegan nutrition. Ellie, but weren't those plants imported? Where it depends. It depends where you get your food from. I mean, you can go down to the market here and buy food that came from faraway places, like say bananas and other tropical fruits. You don't have to eat them. You can get apples that were grown in our home state. You can get avocados that were grown in our home state. I mean, I'm not sure what the problem is about like what you're saying here. I mean, if that's really important to you, Allie, as a vegan, you can buy all your food locally. I mean, I used to, for like 10 years in a row. I just got tired of going ever since the parking situation got real shit at our farmer's market. I used to go every Sunday morning, without fail, every Sunday morning, and spent a lot of money buying local food from our local farmers. Most of our food was grown locally. So that is a very doable thing. Depends where you live at, I guess, too. If you live somewhere where agriculture is kind of challenged, you probably have to import your vegetables, too. Unless you're a carnivore, you're probably eating some vegetables and plants, too. Sun City, would I eat lab-grown meat when it's proven it has no link to suffering and sentience? I've said this many times before. Lab-grown meat, if a vegan wants to eat it, let him or her eat it. Because, yeah, it's not produced by exploiting and killing a sentient being. So yeah, I think it fits the definition of not wrong graphic here. 1 second, guys. It fits within the definition of veganism. Lab-grown meat was not produced under conditions where animals were treated with cruelty and exploitation. Would I eat it though? No, I have no idea. I have no desire to eat meat. For me, meat is gross. It's like poop. If I see poop on the ground, I don't sit there and go, I want to have a bite of that. It's like when I walk past someone eating a steak, I get grossed out. I want to barf. Like when I see poop, I want to barf, So why would I want to eat something that I find absolutely repulsive and gross, even if it was not produced in the traditional animal exploitation means. So, but I think it's totally morally and ethically fine for vegans to eat high-tech meat that didn't come from animal exploitation. But my personal line is, no, I don't want to eat it because it's gross. A lot of things I don't like because they're gross. I hate bell peppers. I hate red bell peppers because they're gross. I avoid them. Yeah, late model. You should get your organic produce from CSA, a grow farm. In colder climates, though, those types of plants are inaccessible. Well, the thing is, if you're, like I said, if you happen to live in a colder climate, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to get all the produce I can. That's true whether you're a vegan or a meat eater. Unless you're on a carnivore diet or something like that, you're still buying produce the same way that vegans are buying produce. I don't see any ethical problem there as far as climate change. But the bottom line is, Ellie, what veganism is, it's not necessarily an ethical. I'm sorry, it's not necessarily a climate diet, but I'll show you it is. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. But if you want to talk about climate-friendly diets, I'm more than happy to go there because the United Nations has ranked which diets are most climate-friendly according to the United Nations, and they're ranking it on greenhouse gas emissions. And guess what are the most climate-friendly diets? Number 1, vegan. Number 2, vegetarian. So I too appreciate your concerns about combating climate change, and even with transportation involved, that totally doesn't overwhelm the fact that how many resources are required to produce all to raise and slaughter 80 billion animals annually. It's a lot of resources. So even if you have to fly bananas across the ocean, that's greenhouse gases right there. But there's way more greenhouse gases emitted from animal agriculture. In fact, let's go to Cowspiracy Facts, and let me show you what I'm talking about here. Greenhouse gas emissions. Animal agriculture is responsible for 18% of greenhouse emissions, and that's more than all combined, all the combined from exhaust from all transportation. So yeah, bananas are being flown and stuff like that. And then this is transportation for everything. You driving to work, a truck driving your TV from the port, whatever. All transportation combined, the greenhouse gas contribution of all transportation combined is less than the animal agriculture's contribution. So I appreciate your concerns, but you got to get your numbers. I'm just trying to make it so like, all greenhouse gas emissions are bad. And that's true, but animal agriculture is way more intense, way more crazy as far as pumping our atmosphere with greenhouse gases. But yeah, great questions. You're asking really good questions, Ellie. Is that your name? I forgot. You kind of scrolled past here. And I'm with you, late model. I wouldn't eat lab-grown meat, I'm sure for the same reasons, like you wouldn't, because it's gross. Why would we want to eat something that makes us want to puke? Just thinking about meat right now, just the thought, I want to puke. It's gross. Evil Steven, you want to get some turtles in the chat? If you want to be a turtle, totally cool. Yeah, AJ, and when you get down to it, it's really easy. Why do we have to get all deep and philosophical? Just let me just read AJ's comment here verbatim. Just stop hurting beings who don't want to suffer and die. It's not rocket science. Yeah, animals don't want to die. They don't want to be your dinner tomorrow or next week. They don't want to. They're sentient living beings. They have emotions. They have feelings. They have thoughts. They just like us. They feel pain. They can suffer just like us. I don't want to be some guy's dinner, and animals don't want to be some guy's dinner. So it's as simple as that. That's what veganism is about. The notion that animals are not necessary in order for us to live. You can eat plants as long as you don't do it in a stupid way. Like I said, you could just have beer and Oreos. That's technically a vegan diet. It's complete crap, and you'll probably get sick pretty soon. But yeah. Anyway, thanks, Allie. You appreciate my perspective and think it's cool what I'm doing. Awesome. Thank you. It's not sustainable. I'm not sure what you mean, and not sustainable for everyone. I mean, if someone, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but yeah, I've never said everyone has to go vegan. That's what a lot of people say. Like, what about the Inuits? Well, if an Inuit wants to go vegan, they can. I'm not saying just because I'm vegan, everyone around the world must follow what I'm doing. I'm not like the fascist god dictator or something like that. I'm just a music producer that has a vegan YouTube channel as well. So yeah, if someone doesn't want to go vegan, nothing I can do. I could talk to them, try to persuade them, but I'm not forcing anyone to go vegan. I don't have that authority, and I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to be a fascist dictator. AJ, yeah, there's really like 500,000 types of edible plants. I think the practical number is a few thousand that people actually really do eat on any regular basis. But I get your point. There's just so many plants we can eat. We don't need to eat the animals that, humans have been traditionally eating. We just eat plants. Good night, Lizzie. Thanks for being here. Awesome. That's a good reverse golden rule there, VLAM. I like that. Do not do unto others what you do not want them to do unto you. Good point. Yeah, Sun City King. I hope the lab-grown meat gets more developed and put in into the mainstream food chains, and its price is at worst comparable, and if not at best better than cheaper, less expensive than the animal products. So they'll have at least to compete. I'm sure the meat industry will do all sorts of misinformation, lie campaigns to like make it sound like, oh, it's unnatural, you're gonna die. Like I know in Florida, Ron DeSantis put a ban on lab-grown meat, because of pressure or loyalties to the meat industry. So if it doesn't suffer that fate, some kind of misinformation, political attack or something like that, I wish lab-grown meat well, and I hope more people eat it, because if more people eating that, fewer animals will be bred into existence and exploited and killed. So yeah, I'm totally for it. I just don't want to eat it. I'll just keep eating my whole food plants and stuff, but yeah, I hope it succeeds. Brandon, there's no way around the omnivore nature of who and what where. What are you talking about? I haven't had meat or animal products in 15 years. So there obviously is a way around our omnivore nature. I mean, and our omnivore nature ain't doing us all that good. Look at all those greenhouse gases that are being pumped out into the atmosphere. But I mean, what do you mean there's no way? I mean, health organizations, these are not vegan activist groups here. I mean, the Dietitians of Canada, British National Health Service, Dietitians Association of Australia, all agree there's a scientific consensus that we don't need to be omnivores. If you consume a sensible, balanced vegan diet, you are eating a nutritionally adequate diet. So I'm not sure what you mean there's no way around it. If what you were saying is true, Brandon, what would be expected under your hypothesis is that I should be dead right now or really sick, and I'm far from it. So how do you explain that, Brandon, if there's no way around it? It's undeniable. Again, how do we get around the expectation of your hypothesis? I should be sick and dying, and nothing could be further from the truth right now. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about that, Brandon. And if you're trying to argue that humans need to kill animals, no, we don't. There's nothing in our nature that when I see an animal, I'm not thinking, man, I want to kill it. And that's not just true when I see like dogs and cats and stuff in the neighborhood all the time. Like we have opossums coming here, raccoons, squirrels. I don't want to kill them. I've never thought, gee, if I just could kill that opossum, that would be awesome. If I could kill those squirrels, yes, it's in my nature. I'm having to hold my nature back to restrain me from attacking the squirrels out there. I mean, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're saying there, Brandon. Is that how you feel when you see a squirrel or raccoon or something like that? If so, that's kind of a deviated behavior. I think you might want to seriously talk to someone about that. I don't think that's a normal, healthy reaction to seeing innocent sentient beings that aren't trying to attack you or something like that. I can see if you're being attacked, yeah, you got to survive and run or something like that. But anyway, well, Ellie, I didn't think you implied I was fascist. I'm saying that I'm not like that. I don't just because I'm vegan doesn't mean like everyone in the world has to be vegan or something like that. No, I didn't misunderstand. But thanks for clarifying that, Ellie. Much appreciated. Good night, Zenas. Thanks for being here. And Ellie, you guys, come back anytime you want. It's all cool. Brandon, no, just less healthy than others. What do you mean? What do you mean much less? Where's your proof that a vegan diet is less healthy than? I've never seen a rankings of the healthfulness. Here's the thing, Brandon. All you want to know is the way you're eating. Is it healthy or not healthy? Who cares if another diet might be a little healthier? All I want to know is what is how I'm eating going to kill me? Am I screwing myself because of my moral beliefs that animal cruelty and exploitation are wrong, and I don't want to participate in animal cruelty and exploitation? I'm going to eat plants and fungi instead. Am I screwing myself? Am I going to be wrecking my health? Well, I've been waiting now 15 years for my health to get wrecked. I have awesome blood labs for a dude my age. I'm on 0 medications. I'm not overweight or obese. And most guys my age have checks for all of those things I just mentioned there. So I'm obviously doing pretty good. I've had many doctors. I've visited, general health practitioners, cardiologists. They're all telling me what I'm doing is working out wonderfully for me. It's very healthy. All these health organizations say that eating a well-planned vegan diet is nutritionally adequate. So I'm not sure what the problem is exactly, Brandon. Why, if I'm doing well, better than all these men my age who are eating meat, I'm doing wonderfully, why would I want to start eating meat all of a sudden? Because all the doctors say, no, what you're doing, Ryan, is working out really well. You're eating a balanced diet. Your blood labs are awesome. I'll show you my playlist if you think I'm lying. I'm not just making shit up here. I've been putting my blood labs up on YouTube since 2013, the whole time I've been vegan almost. So there's full transparency there. It's all working out. So again, why would I want to listen to some guy saying I need to eat meat to be healthy when I'm already healthy at 58, not on any meds or anything? And thanks for pointing out, there's no one vegan diet late model. There's no such thing as the vegan diet. There's unhealthy ways to be vegan, like the beer and Oreos version, and healthier ways, like the ways I prefer to eat, primarily whole food, plant-based. Savage Cactus, I actually have met for a while with a board certified cardiologist, and research into, I'm not a medical doctor, but she says HDL cholesterol is not correlated. It's nice to have a good HDL. Actually, I have strong HDL. The number one correlations are LDL cholesterol / ApoB. Those are the number one biomarkers for risk, cardiovascular disease risk. So yeah, so I'm not sure if your HDL argument holds any weight there. A lot of people believe that. That's cool to have good HDL, but that's not what concerns cardiologists. It's having really high biomarkers for LDL and or ApoB. You want to know what Ryan thinks about it, Carmichael? Where are you, Carmichael? I don't see your question. Ask it again, Carmichael. If you have a question, I'm sorry, I got lost there. I'm trying my best here. A lot of people are asking questions. So just, don't get mad at me. Just ask it again. So Brandon, okay, I'm glad you admit you enjoy the taste of animal flesh. So is that your best argument against veganism? Because you have nothing on the unhealthfulness of vegan diets. You tried to argue that point, and you don't seem to have anything other than assertions that other ways of eating are healthier, and you have nothing to back it up. Again, I have evidence showing that vegan diets are nutritionally adequate as long as you're following a sensible, well-planned vegan diet. My own biomarkers, my own health, the fact that I'm not on any meds, I'm not overweight, are all indicators that what the science is showing is not a bunch of bullshit. It actually is. Do what they're saying, and it works out. Okay, Carmichael. Okay, real talk. You eat vegan, but literally today I was thinking about the dilemma of muscles. Animal feel pain. If I were to have a supplement with green lipid muscle powder, would I still be vegan? Here's the thing. I'm not a biologist. I don't understand. I'm a music producer and a philosopher by training. So anyway, from what I understand, for sentience, a few things are required, at least the way that we understand sentience. If you're from another planet or universe, sentience might have different foundations, but for all earthbound biological life, we know sentience requires having a brain and central nervous system. Muscles or bivalves, as far as I understand, they don't really have brains. I heard they have neuron-like structures, and they don't have a central nervous system, but they do have a nervous system. So for me, I don't know. The jury's out. They're different from, like, say, bananas and potatoes, and they have some hardware or equipment that, like, sentient beings have. So for me, I don't know. I'm just not going to eat them for a couple reasons. Yeah, if in doubt, go without. Secondly, I actually have never seen a compelling argument why I should eat bivalves. Bivalves, there's no nutrient in bivalves that without which human health suffers or something like that. Not all humans grew up around bivalves and stuff like that. I'm doing quite fine, having gone over 15 years. I've probably gone over 20, 30 years without having any bivalves. So bivalves are not necessary for good human health. Thirdly, bivalves are the scum suckers of the ocean. And I'm not like dissing bivalves. I think they're awesome. I want them in the ocean. I mean, the oceans are having enough trouble right now. So let them suck pollutants out of the water, and they get concentrated in bivalves. Why won't eat something that's heavily concentrated in toxins and remove them from the ocean where they're doing their job? And that's kind of exploitative in a sense. Yeah, bivalves should be out there, and you're removing them from performing their function. So anyway, I don't see any compelling argument why a person should eat bivalves. If you eat them, are you vegan? I don't know. I'm not going to bitch at you, Carmichael. If you make a video, I'm a vegan who eats bivalves, I'm not going to make a response video. I don't care. Do what you're going to do. I'm just giving you my reasons why I don't eat bivalves. Brandon, do you have an argument? Are you just going to be a science denier right now? Appeal to authority. Yeah, it's funny how, as my video yesterday about anti-vegans, how they're like very selective about science. They use like appeal to authority and science denial arguments when they see things like this, but you guys love it when there's science that says eating butter is good or eating plants is bad or something. You guys are science denialists when it's convenient for you, and science embracers when it's convenient for you. So you can't have it both ways, Brandon. So anyway, do you have anything else to add, or should I just time you out right now? Because we need to move on. We can't have like one guy or person monopolize all our time. There's lots of people want to chat and stuff. And I think we've been more than generous in dealing with your questions. And your biggest issue was veganism's not natural or something like that. Appeal to nature fallacy. It's not healthy. I show you evidence-based information. Health organizations from around the world who know the science much better than you or I have made recommendations, which if they're wrong would ruin their reputations if people are dying because they're giving crap advice. So if you have anything else you want to add, now would be a great time. If not, why don't you come back next week? Who cares if people have been eating meat for literally all of history? People had slaves for the majority of history. Does that make it right? So you're saying if humans have done something for a sufficiently long time in our past, that justifies doing it now. People have been murdering other people through all of history. People have been raping people through all of history. Does that make it morally right? So no, that's a horrible argument. You definitely don't want to go there, Brandon. But I'm going to politely, not ban you, but I'm timing you out. So that we can move on. You can come back next Friday and chat if you want. Totally cool. But I think we've been more than generous with addressing your flinging poop on the wall. You're just getting desperate here, just throwing anything on the wall, seeing what sticks. And it's not like I haven't heard this before. I've been doing this live stream for years and years now and responded to anti-vegan nonsense for like over a decade. So nothing new you're not saying anything new. You can come back next week if you think you have a novel argument or example as to why veganism is false. Yeah, late model. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we ought to, you know? Just like, because, you know, it's physically possible for a human to unalive another human. There's ways to do it. Does it mean we ought to do it? Hell no. You know, I could take a crap on your head. You know, I could. I don't want to, but I could. Does it mean I ought to dump on your heads? No, I'm just sorry for these graphic examples. I'm just showing the absurdity of it. Just because you can do something doesn't mean it's ought, you know? So anyway, Oblem, many vets caution against vegan diets. We're talking about humans right now. We're not talking about, are you saying vets caution against humans on vegan diets or something like that? We're not talking about animals right now. We're talking about humans. If vegans are cautioned against humans doing vegan diets, I don't give a shit what a vet says. I care about what organizations who understand human health have to say, like such as groups like these people. Yeah, Laris, late model. It's physically possible to crap on someone's head, right? Just get in the right position. You can do it, you know. Someone consents to it. I'm not saying you should, but it's physically possible. It doesn't mean we ought to do it or something like that. It just shows the absurdity because it can be done. It ought to be done. It's an absurd argument. You don't want to go there. Carmichael, if you're interested in joint health, there's probably other things you can find than I've never heard of. Like, I'm just going to go look right now. What is good for human joint health? What is good for human joint health? Hopefully it doesn't tell me to smoke weed, joint health. Get it? Da-ding. Let's see. Let's look at what I've got here. I'm just going to go with the AI overview. Good for human joint health includes a combination of low impact exercises like swimming and walking, maintaining a healthy weight, eating a nutrient rich diet full of anti-inflammatory foods. Okay, they have fatty fish, but they also say berries, leafy greens, turmeric. So it doesn't say you have to eat fish. You could probably load up on these plants and get a sufficient amount of the anti-inflammatory things that you're looking for from a mussel or fish or something like that. So yeah, there you go. You don't have to kill animals to have good joints. In fact, I must have pretty strong joints because I'm 58, I'm playing basketball, I'm using my joints really in an extreme way that most people never use them. I'm using them all the time and I'm pretty much injury free in my joints. So anyway, I'm funny sometimes, Heidi. Which thing? The crapping on the head part? That's an extreme example, but I think it makes it really clear the absurdity of just because you can do something, you should do something. It gives all the meaning to the poop wall, huh? Heidi, yeah, flax. I put flax in my smoothies all the time. Ground flaxseed, not just like whole flax. I heard that doesn't really help as far as humans obtaining omega-3 fatty acids from it, but also we have an algae supplement for omega-3s as well. So yeah, all this stuff, you can get it from plants. I hate when people say, I got to get fish for my omega-3s. No, you just eat the stuff the fish are eating. Eat the algae. Why eat the fish? Because you can eat the same thing they're eating. Ooh, a pot of stew. That sounds good right now, Angie. That sounds really good. Hey, Uncle, I'm sorry, I didn't say hi to you. I saw you come in tonight a little bit ago, Uncle. So thanks for being here. Yeah, we've had quite a lively bunch tonight. I could have actually used you and Peter. I felt kind of alone tonight without a moderator, but we handled it fine. I think so. So what do you think, guys? We kind of got through all that. Some people were really bad faith idiots, and others were kind of nice, like that. What was her name? Ellie. She was really cool, really pleasant. So yeah, we've had a nice mix of people coming tonight to try to debunk veganism or whatever they're trying to do. Yeah, tonight has been lit, huh? Ellie. Oh, there you are, Ellie. I thought you left us. I'm glad you're here. See, I thought you were cool. It's not like, yeah, I'm not against everyone who's not vegan. I'm happy to share information with people. But anyway, you're just curious what my day-to-day diet kind of looks like to get a little inspiration so we can swap out. Well, right now, my wife is putting together a stew. Angie, if you're still on right now, why don't you just type in to Ellie what kind of stew you're making? It'll be a bunch of different plants, you know? So we're going to have a stew tonight. Typically in the morning, assuming like I go to the gym, I just have like a piece of toast, basically, like some Dave's raisin bread, and I go do my workout. I don't like a bunch of food jiggling in my body. I think a lot of you guys can relate to that. I just want to be pretty light and everything because I play basketball. It's a pretty intense physical sport. So anyway, yeah, I come back and I have a big freaking smoothie, like 5-6 bananas, put in my blender. I put in ground flaxseed. I put in some frozen berries and strawberries and stuff like that, grind it all together. That's a breakfast. If I don't go to the gym, I just have a bowl of oatmeal, sprinkle some blueberries or slap a banana in it too. That's my morning. Lunch could be a number of things, like, like different foods, like say, just yesterday, here's what Angie and I made. The front on the first entry in the Happy Healthy Vegan Cookbook, the Tuscan Kale Pilaf. We made this yesterday. It's got like a mix of like wild and brown rice. You got legumes, you got some kale, you got sun-dried tomatoes. Those are the main ingredients in that sucker. What am I forgetting here? Yeah, put it in the Instapot. You know, it's ready in like 21, well, it takes 21 minutes to count down. Once it heats up, it takes about like 28, 29 minutes. This thing is filling AF. The way the recipe is here for 2 people, we are stuffed. I went to bed so full last night. Probably one of the reasons why I didn't sleep all that great. I think I was just a little too full last night. Okay, there's Angie. Angie says, yeah, take a look at the shorts that, so she's my wife, by the way, Angie B. Take a look at the 7 vegan meals I made at home series on the channel. She has a whole ton of these, like 7 meals at, you know, morning, noon, night meals, just all day, just things we're eating all throughout the day. And for right now, the stew that she's making, wild rice, mushrooms, potatoes, carrots, kale, spices, some liquid aminos for flavor with the spices, and then you'll add in a can of white beans and some tomato paste after the veggies are soft. So, and it's going to be filling. Seriously, we're going to be so full and stuffed tonight. We're going to feel really good. I ate a little weird today because we went out today. We weren't eating at home, you know. So yeah, when you leave the house, you know, you can't expect to find like whole food plant meals like this when you go somewhere. This is stuff that you make at home. When you go out into the world, you'll have other like more processed vegan stuff. Maybe another reason why I don't feel all that great energy wise. But the trolls got me going. I thought I was getting sick or something, but I feel fantastic now. John's like ate like 4,000 calories a day and you feel not ideal. Yeah, unless you're like a hardcore athlete, like you rode a bike for like 3 hours or ran for an hour and a half or played basketball for an hour and a half. That's probably too many calories. Oh, Carmichael, whole food plant-based. Sorry about the abbreviations here, but yeah, a whole food plant-based. Yeah, thanks, Uncle. I know a lot of you guys like our cookbook. Yeah, Jesse, that Tuscan kale pilaf recipe is amazing. You made it many times. Seriously, we eat that hardly ever. Seriously, guys, hardly ever a week goes by. And how many weeks are in a year? 52? I would say like 50 weeks out of the year where we have Tuscan kale pilaf at least one time. Usually just once a week. It gets much after, you know, a lot if you have it more than that. But yeah, we have a different variety of whole food plants. Carmichael, I love fruits. But I don't think we have to eat only fruits. You know, fruits are part of a healthy diet for vegans and non-vegans. But I've never seen any science that says, and thou shalt eat only fruits because of this science. That science just does not exist. But yeah, I love fruits. I tell you, when I come back from the gym, I don't want to eat freaking oatmeal. I want to have a bunch of bananas and berries. Late model, yeah, I love hardly a day goes by where we don't eat beans here. You love beans so much. You've been having an affair with white beans lately. Yeah, you're hardcore. You make beans from scratch. You get the hard beans, you silk them. That's awesome. I wish I put in more time to the beans. Yeah, Ellie, yeah. The Tuscan kale pilaf recipe is wonderful. In fact, in the Happy Healthy Vegan Cookbook, Angie modified a few recipes so you can use an Instapot or just traditional like pot or just traditional cooking methods. In fact, what I'll do is for anyone, if Allie's interested or anyone, I'll put a link to our book. Just, you know, I'm not like just trying to scam you guys. This is not like our big income maker. We've made this because people want to know how we're eating. So I will share the link to our cookbook here. And we're almost out. We printed these up like during 2020 lockdown. We're getting pretty close to running out of our pressing here. I mean, we'll make it through this year for sure, but there's a link to our books. You can download an ebook instantly. And the book's been on sale. We lowered it for like Black Friday a few years ago, and we never brought it back down. And I think it's a really good deal. It's like hardbound. You got this nice metal spiral edge. I don't know if it's metal, but you can like open it, slap it down on your counter or table, and it stays open on the page. Really easy for for cooking food quickly. So anyway, for accessing the recipes, I mean, doesn't make the food cook any quicker, but it gets you, in the groove without having to turn the pages every 5 seconds. Let's see what else did Angie say. But there's quick and easy vegan friendly things like spaghetti with marinara sauce, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, beans and rice with salsa and guacamole. Yeah, we had that yesterday actually. Yeah, the beans and rice with the salsa. So yeah, there's many things you can eat that are vegan. Some are more healthy than others. Some are a little like more fun or processed food or whatever. But anyway. Yes, AJ, I agree. Get the cookbooks. They are so great. They are. There's really good recipes in there. Really, the Happy Healthy Vegan cookbook that I showed there is really like, I've said this many times, it's like our eating diary. It reflects like the foods we were literally eating as Angie developed this book over like from say 2017 to 2020, something like that. And we still eat a lot of these foods to this day, like the Tuscan kale pilaf, for instance. But it really is like a food diary of what we really eat, the real stuff that we really eat, But yeah, if you really want to see how we're eating now, as Angie said, on our channel here on YouTube, you can find the shorts, and that's Angie's domain. I make these like landscape dimension videos. She makes the vertical ones, and her 7 vegan meals I made at home. Yeah, you can see all the stuff that we've been eating for the past year or two since she started making videos for that series. Hey, thank you, Troy Brand. Thank you so much for the super chat tip there. Much, much appreciated. Yeah, the fact that people use plants for seasoning to make their dead animal bits actually taste good, huh? Is Hannibal Lecter such a really bad guy? But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a point that carnivores don't like to admit, that they either have to give up the seasonings to be really 100% part of the belief system, or just admit, yeah, the plants do add a certain niceness to it, whatever. But yeah, good point. Even if you're not a carnivore, just your average meat eater does put seasonings on because it makes the flavor better, right? Yeah, Carmichael, we're here every Friday. Whatever time it is right now, Carmichael, subtract 2 hours. It's, for me right now, 8 p.m. I start at 6 p.m. So whatever time it is right now, subtract 2 hours. And yeah, that's when we get together. And we usually hang out about 2 hours, which means I'm going to get skedaddling pretty soon right now. It's 8 o'clock. I'm an old guy. I'm 58 years old. I don't have infinite energy. Usually on Fridays, I go to the gym as well. So I'm pretty tired from basketball, either doing a basketball workout or games. Either way, it's grueling. I'm pretty tired. But I'm just pretty tired from, me and Angie did a lot today. We went out for the morning and afternoon, got up kind of early. So either way, I'm usually tired of Friday nights, so I don't go all day. And I know people that live stream for 3, 4, or 5 hours. Hey, maybe if I was like 25 and not going to the gym, it'd be a little easier. But yeah, I'm pretty old and chill now. Yeah, but yeah, Angie, yeah, all right. Every Friday, same time. Yeah, I remember the last Friday I missed. I remember the day the high-speed maniac almost crashed into us. I still did it, Angie's birthday was on a Friday this year. I started like maybe a half hour or an hour late, but I did it. So yeah, we're pretty much always here. Something really crazy has to happen, I guess, for the Friday live stream not to happen for me. I don't have a life on Fridays. I really don't have much going on. So as far as like a social life, just me and my wife, and we usually don't have big plans on Friday night. So it's a perfect time for us. I know it's not ideal for everyone, but that's why you can watch it after the fact. But I think it's most fun, when you can be here in real time and hang and everything. So anyway, let's see what else is going on. I should get going soon. Let me see what else is saying together. At the start of the year, Angie put together a long video compiling all the things we ate at home last year. Yeah, that's on our channel too. Check that out. You can really see we're really open about how we really eat. A lot of people have these fantasies that we eat really poorly or we eat super perfectly. the truth is somewhere in the middle, closer to the perfectly, but we eat all sorts of stuff. We just don't eat the same thing over and over again. You can see how we eat. Angie shares that with you guys. Let's see. All right, guys, let's call it a night, huh? This is a crazy live stream. We haven't had anyone come for several weeks maybe to try to debunk veganism or challenge veganism or whatever. And then tonight, God, we got like 5-10 people. A lot of them came at once, it was crazy. So it's cool. So I'm glad we met a few nice people like Allie and Carmichael. If you guys want to come back, yeah, every Friday, whatever time it is now, subtract 2 hours, that's when we do this. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, you'll at least get notified, or hit the notification bell to get notified. You don't even have to subscribe, just hit the notification bell. We don't put out that many videos, so you won't be blowing up your phone. But yeah, if you want to remember the Friday live streams. Angie said, yes, I post short videos trying the vegan food at Disneyland too, so you can see other things that we didn't cook at home. Like I said, when you leave the house, the restaurants in Disneyland or wherever you go, they don't cook food like you do. They have their own way of serving plant-based dishes. So yeah, we share it all. Cool. So anyway, yeah, I took your questions in good faith, Ellie. That's why I respect you for answering, for discussing in good faith as well, as opposed to pretty much, I think there's one or two others, but pretty much all the other people who disagreed with what we're doing here were not here in good faith. They're here to attack me personally, try to make me feel bad. They weren't responding to any of the evidence I gave or anything like that. So I appreciate you being in good faith, So thank you. Thanks to everyone. Next week, I should have another new video out. I'm not sure what my topic is exactly. I know Peter sent me a few ideas, so I'll check that out. Maybe it'll be another Why I'm No Longer Vegan video. I'm trying to push away from that. I'm trying to respond to, I think, deeper issues, like the video I made yesterday about, why people hate vegans, like anti-vegans, the bigotry going on there. I want to understand what's going on, more with the experiences that we saw it at night. People coming here, not like Ellie, but people coming here just attacking me just because I'm not into animal cruelty and exploitation. Why does that give people, in their mind, some moral right, some justification to hate me and say mean and awful things? So I think I want to explore more of that, but yeah, I don't know, I'll see how I'm feeling next week, what kind of video I want to make. I'm just saying, I'm trying to expand what kinds of videos I make. I think now is a good time for me to, even if they don't get as many views, just do things that I think are really meaningful. Just try to understand how it all works out here with us interacting with the world that's often quite against us and our beliefs. Hey, guys, so thank you. Good night. As always, I feel much better chilling with you guys on Friday. I felt kind of a little under the weather when the live stream got started, and I feel totally fine now, totally normal. So again, thanks to you guys. Thanks for being there for me, having my back as you guys have had for a long time. And hopefully I have your back too. I hope so. Maybe that's why you're coming here and watching the live streams and being part of the happy family on our channel. So thank you, Uncle, for showing up. I wish you were here earlier, but not your fault. I'm glad you have a live. I'm glad you got things going on. And I will see you guys next week, hopefully with a new video and Friday live stream. So until then, guys, remember, it doesn't suck being vegan. Bye, guys. Much love to everyone.